How's it going, David from Comic Book Investments? So in this video, we're going to look at 5 keys that are dropping in price. And some of these on here are ones that you guys suggest out there. So if you can just comment below on something you want me to look at, and I'll take a look at, and then hopefully I'll make it on one of these videos. Hopefully it's a positive one, like going up and not going down, but this one is the going down list. And also, if you guys want to help out the channel any way you can, I have a link in every description. It's if you buy anything on eBay, literally it could be comic books, it could be toilet paper, makes no difference. I have an affiliate link down there, and I use that money, and I take some of that money, and then I end up using it for giveaways. So all you gotta do is click the link before you buy anything, and helps out the channel. That's it. Just literally click the link, and then buy whatever you're gonna buy. All right, let's get into the first one. First one is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Adventures #1. A 9.4 is down 69% from 400 to 125. A 9.6 is down 74% from 580 to 150. And a 9.8 is down 73% from 1,700, now selling for 463. This is the first appearance of Rocksteady and Bebop in the comic books anyways. And yeah, I mean, I remember when this book went sky high. I remember it was basically worth like nothing. And it just went right through the roof. But if you, yeah, it's dropped down like 73, 74%. Like if you've seen the show, you know that's actually not that bad. I mean, it's bad, but not as bad as some other ones that are in the 80s and 90%. But then if you kind of look at the graph, and it's kind of goes with the notion I've been saying since like the beginning of the year, 2023, it's been pretty much flat. So this book has been flat, at least in the 9.8 range. It's pretty much stopped around that 73% drop. Is it going to drop even more? Maybe a little bit, but I could see this book, you know, sitting around this range, you know, the $400 range. You know, it might drop to the 350. I could see a 9.8 dropping around the 350, but I don't think it'll really be much lower than that. And it's kind of sit around that range. So that's kind of like where I'm seeing it. At least the last 6 months is any indication. And if you look prior to the comic boom, it was probably selling for like $200, maybe $250. So it's up, you know, about 100. It should be, well, I mean, right now it's selling for $463, but I can see it landing $100 above what it once was. All right, next we got Transformers #8. This is the first appearance of the Dino Bots. A 9.4 is down 45% from 175 to 95. A 9.6 down 71% from 250 to 73. And a 9.8 down 60% from 623 to 250. Yeah, so this one, same thing as the Turtles. You look at that graph, and it's like it's been flat for the last about the whole year. Obviously, had a huge boom, spike down. But I've been saying this, you know, multiple times, that if you take away that giant spike, it just has pretty much overall just has a trend of each book is different. But this book is probably like a 2 to 5% gain year after year. Now, obviously, some years it'll lose money, like to go down like 4%, and then other years it'll go up like 10%. But in the whole stretch of things, it's, you know, it's literally just like this, but you have this nice jump. This book in particular, it's somewhat of a minor key in the Transformers franchise, but it's not like a major key. So they're always going to be it's always going to be higher than your average non-key books. Next, we got Young Avengers #8. A 9.4 is down 50% from $38 to $19. A 9.6 is down 47% from 75 to 40. And a 9.8 is down 90% from 125. One just sold for $12. This is kind of like why I don't like putting in modern books. I really don't want to put other grade ranges because they really don't mean anything. This book, obviously selling for when the Young Avengers was, everyone thought the Young Avengers was going to happen. They're building up to it. They could have, but Marvel just dropped the ball. Disney or whatever. They just dropped the ball like they have been for almost a decade. When did Endgame? Pretty much after Endgame. After that, everything's just been, eh. I mean, obviously you have some good ones here and there, like the Spider-Verse, which is Sony, but you had the Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland, and then you had Guardians, stuff like that. But in general, Young Avengers just dropped like a stone, 90%. This is for a #8. $12. Yeah, I mean, there's really no point even for saying like a 9.6 or 9.4. They're just going to go for case cost or whatever someone's willing to pay, but not anything more than case cost. This book will always never be anything more than case cost. That's like, the case cost is about $50. That's what it's going to cost to send you a single book, CGC, back, shipping, insurance, grading, all that stuff. So it's never, now obviously sold for $12. Probably someone put it in an auction and just went for $12. I mean, that's what happens. If you didn't put it in an auction, this book would like sit for years and years and years, and someone would come along and maybe pay maybe $50, maybe, depending on how many is available at the time. But usually non-key modern books, you'd be lucky to kind of get case cost for the most part. So yeah, I wouldn't touch this book with a 10-foot pole at all. No, this is in terms of investment. If you like it, buy it. But if you're thinking about this is a good investment, no, I would run from the hills from this book. Never even go close to it. Honestly, I wouldn't even go with any Young Avengers. It's just too volatile. There's Young Avengers 1, last time I looked at it, was still dropping. Probably drop some more. Maybe when it bottoms out, you can pick it up as like a spec book because it won't get much lower than that. And then maybe 10 years down the line, they'll do something. All right, next we got is Star Wars, number 42. A 9.4 is down 75% from 1300 to 330. A 9.6 down 75% from 1600 to 400. 9.8 down 78% from almost $5,000. Now it's on for about 1100. Wow, look at that. 75, 75, 78. So pretty much across the board, down 75% from its peaks. Now this one, I'm looking at it and it's still trending down. Like it is not flat. So this tells me that this still has room to drop. And I think the reason for that is because, first of all, it's still quite a bit above what it was before the comic boom. So not a huge amount, but still quite a bit. So to me, it looks like it's going to drop. And The Mandalorian, God, in season 3 just kind of killed the show, to be honest. There's no more buzz about it. Star Wars, just like other Disney properties, just kind of fell apart. And I think I want to say that it's only like 1.5 million people tuned into season 3 when it was first dropped. I don't know what that number was at like the end of it. And the same with Ashoka. I think it was only like 1.4 million people tuned in for the first episode. And obviously people are going to fall off. Usually if the show's good, and it's got a lot of buzz, and it'll like pick up, but from what I can tell, not really. So yeah, so Mandalorian is just kind of like, I don't know, it's just like Star Wars in general. It's just kind of like, I don't know. Everyone says Andor's great. I haven't gotten past the first episode, and I canceled my Disney Plus, so I probably want to watch it. Last on the list is Sergeant Fury number 1. A 3.5 down 59% from a little over 2,000, now selling for 840. A 5.5 down 54% from 4,100 to 1,900. And a 7.0 is down 33% from 5,500, now selling for 3,660. So if you take the graphs I always show is always the top one on this one. So for example, this is a 7.0. So if you take out the comic boom, you can see one giant sale, right? That's all you can see. You see one sale that propped this book up to 5,500. For that, it was around, the 2,500 mark back in like 2019. So in 2021, so this book was trending anywhere from like the mid 2000s, right? Maybe the high 2000s, mid, somewhere in there. And then at least for the 7.0 example. And then all of a sudden, the comic boom hits, and it pretty much doubles in price and goes up to 5,500 for the next sale, right? A year or so later. And then after that, the sales have been around 3,600 for this one, and before that, around $4,000. A couple are in the $4,000 range. So it's a lot of the time, the comic boom is usually brought on by like one giant sale. Now, obviously, if there's books that are really popular, you'll have multiple sales, but it's usually just a few key sales that just shoot this thing way up, and then it just starts dropping ever since. So that's kind of interesting. Now, obviously, probably if you look at a 7.0, it has that one sale. You probably look at a 5.0, it probably has that one sale. But yeah, for the most part, it's like during the comic boom, it was like this. Not very many people is coming out just paying ridiculous prices for it, and then shot up everything else, and then everything just went back down to earth. Probably what it was a lot of newbies getting into the collecting space of comics and not really knowing everything and just buying. Like I had people that would just tell me like, they'd ask me, okay, what book should I go for? And I'm like, oh, I'll go for this, this, and this. And they would just hop on and just like, oh, buy, click, buy. And I'm like, first of all, you didn't even try to talk down the dealer online and get him a lower price. And second of all, you overpaid. Like why? I was like, just wait for a good deal or an auction or something like that and get a good price. No, I don't want to wait. I'm like, okay, well, you paid literally tippity top dollar. So I think there's a lot of people like that. They're like, I have all this money from the stimulus, I had crypto and I sold my crypto. I have all this money. I need to invest in something else. So I was getting into comics. Well, I don't want to figure out how to make everything work and what's a good deal, not a good deal. I'll just click buy. And so all these people just bought at like tippity top dollars. That is it. Have a good